Hey everybody, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. and this is the update for the latest Cars Tour action. This past weekend, there was the historic night at Hickory Motor Speedway, the Throwback Classic that we've ran at Hickory for several years was back again. A lot of awesome paint schemes and a lot of nostalgia going around the racetrack, and also a lot of money up for grabs. And $50,000 to the late model stock series winner, and the pro series had $30,000 up for grabs. And Spencer Davis ends up winning the pro series race with a great battle with Luke Baldwin late in the race. Luke did a really good job working his way into the picture, and he had a little contact racing back in the pack, but survived that and was able to drive up to the back bumper of Spencer Davis. And they were trying to get around the lap car at one point, where I think this is kind of a critical moment where Luke maybe could have been a little more patient, but he climbed up on the left rear quarter panel of Spencer Davis. And I just feel like that the car just wasn't quite as fast after that. I don't know if it might have knocked a toe out or had a little, little body damage or whatnot, but he was still able to put himself in position on the last lap to try to make the pass on Spencer Davis, and Spencer Davis was able to get back around in just a really great battle, clean racing, hard racing for 30 grand. You're going to expect a little bit of fireworks and a little bit of contact, but I think both of those drivers ought to be pretty proud of the show that they put on. It's great to have Spencer back because he ran with us over the last year, and he's kind of been off doing some other things in the pro late model world, but it's good to have him come back every now and then to race with us. He's a great racer. And the late model stock portion of the race, it was a pretty relatively clean race up until the end. We had a really tough wreck at the end of the race, and Tristan McKee was strong all night long, driving for Piercy. This is a track that they know really well, and they seem to be really prepared to try to go out there and do what needed to be done to win the 50 grand. And we had some late yellows that got the field kind of bunched back up and put the pressure back on the leaders. You kind of wonder, had they ran too hard? What did they have left? And at Hickory, the outside line can work to an extent, and at least it's really kind of tough to pass in at that racetrack, and there's always a little bit of contact. It's a bit unavoidable, when you're racing door to door there. But on that restart, Caden Honeycutt was on the outside and rolled into the box a little bit ahead of Tristan. And when they fired off, and by the time they got to the flag stand, Caden was about almost a car length clear of the leader on the outside line. And everybody else in row 2 and row 3, all that was uniform. The only thing that really was the oddity was Caden. He's just a bit aggressive. And you kind of have to take advantage of everything you can and try to do your best and be, as perfect as possible. And I'm not sure if Tristan didn't get a great restart, but either way, Caden was in violation of being too aggressive on the restart, and he was eventually sent to the rear. But he's a strong competitor, races with us, has raced with us for a couple of years, and he's on his way up through the top NASCAR series ranks. And so I got a lot of respect for Caden and his talent, and he just was a little bit too aggressive on that restart, and I think that was the correct call. It's hard to tell what happened right after that. So there's a crash on the front straightaway, and it involved Landon Lewis and Tristan McKee. They were 3 wide. There was a car kind of on there outside, I guess, coming off of turn 4, and Landon kind of rooted the 7 up off the bottom, which is good hard racing late in the race. Just got in his left rear quarter panel just the right way and gets up beside him. They're side by side coming down the front straightaway, and they make contact. Both cars turn sideways and then spin back, overcorrecting into the outside wall. Landon was very adamant that he got right rear hooked. From my perspective, there's a really good view of this from the turn 4 tails away as the cars are driving away from you. And honestly, I don't know that Tristan was trying to hook the 29, or in this case, he's the 97 this weekend with a throwback scheme. I don't know that he was trying to hook him. Was he running into him? Was he dooring him? Was he driving him down the track? It's possible, yes, that he was trying to give it back, a little bit too aggressively. But anyways, it spun them both out and wrecked a bunch of good race cars. And, you hate to see that. We have a lot of young kids in our series that are kind of working their way up through the ranks, and they make a lot of mistakes. And I would say this was a mistake. It's good, hard racing, but it also could have been avoided. Didn't have to happen. And a lot of good race cars and a lot of good drivers that had taken care of those cars all night long were involved in this wreck. But again, it's $50,000, a lot on the line, big spotlight, and it's kind of what the Cars Tour is about at times. We'd love to have like squeaky clean, uneventful races every single week. But as these younger drivers are coming up through the field or coming up through the ranks trying to, improve their craft and learn how to race, they're going to make mistakes when they're racing. So the beneficiary of all that was Mini Tyrell. Mini Tyrell has been great all season, super fast, and they executed well on the last restart, ran all the laps at the end the way he needed to be able to steer clear of any problems, and ends up winning the $50,000. If you know Mini, he's a great kid, great driver. He's been around this series for a long time. He worked hard to put his program together. They invest a lot in themselves, in their race team, and they're good stewards and represent the tour well. And so, it was a pretty cool deal to see them be the ones to win this historic race. And so I'm pretty happy for Mini, and I know that they worked really hard, I think, all year to put themselves in position to win races like that. Big shout outs to several groups for this event. FloRacing, they conceived this idea of having this big payday, and they are the mostly responsible for the fact that this even happened. And so I just want everybody to know that we all ought to really appreciate what Flo is doing for the short track scene and the landscape and the Cars Tour, and obviously all the things they're doing in dirt with High Limit. A big thanks to every competitor that entered in support of the race. Car counts are critical for these type of events for them to continue. And we see great car counts on the dirt side. We see big numbers, big paying events. And for the asphalt side to enjoy that same type of success and growth, the racers in our communities need to come out to these events and try to support them. And, I was hoping for about 120 cars total. That's pretty aggressive, I guess, but we ended up far short of that. It was still a great car count, but you take note of the teams that come and support what you're doing. You're trying to do your series, the Cars Tour is trying to do everything they can to help tracks, help competitors pay more money, grow all of this in a good direction. And so, we'll see if, we'll just have to see if we can keep putting this type of deal together annually. It's not easy, I don't think, to take that kind of a financial risk, but yeah. So a big thanks to the series employees. It was a long weekend. All of our staff had to work really hard to try to figure out, logistics and change of schedules as the weather wasn't really cooperating with us all weekend. And we're trying to do everything we can to get the race in so our competitors can get back to their normal lives and we can get the event completed and just trying to work around getting a lot of help from the track, and everybody at the racetrack did a really, really good job. We learned a lot. We found some areas where maybe for this type of an event we could ramp up a little bit, lean on some of our friends and and folks out there in the ecosystem in the short track world to get more resources and even bodies at the racetrack to help facilitate everything that's going on with when you get more cars and more people and Mother Nature's not working with you. You think, oh, man, we could have really used some resources here and there that would have been easy to access. But anyways, pretty proud of the staff and Cars Tour and everybody for being able to close the books on this weekend after Mother Nature was so difficult. Most importantly, thanks to all the fans that came out. The shots of the crowd on Saturday was incredible, and it's a shame that crowd didn't get to see the race they deserved. And even on Sunday night, I thought it was a really good crowd that showed up to watch the race, and I appreciate all those people. And so it was just it's a risk we take, I think, and Mother Nature had a different plan. I know there were a lot of people online watching on Flow. I heard the numbers for that were extremely good, maybe one of the best races we've had since the original North Wilkesboro event. And all of those things matter for us to be able to bump our purses up and provide our competitors with a better situation financially and provide them with more opportunity to race for more money. Those streaming numbers need to continue to grow. Our car counts and people that want to come out and see what we're all about and compete with us, that needs to continue to grow. And our track experience, our fan experience, all that stuff has to keep getting better and better. And we're working real hard to make sure that happened. All in all, I'm glad the race got in because I wasn't sure whether we were going to have to move to another weekend. I'm glad we didn't have to do that. I hate that it was such a long several days for all our competitors, but I appreciate them sticking it out. And on to the next one. The next one is Anderson. I'll be racing in that race in 2 weekends. I'm looking forward to it. Went out there and tested the other day. Ran about 3 hours one morning, super hot. Hoping we don't get too hot of weather or when we're out there racing. Maybe we'll get lucky and get in the 80s or even maybe the high 70s. That'd be something. But those mid 90s or 90-degree days are tough. And I know our series is grinding toward the finish line here to complete this year, and we want to finish strong. So Anderson will be a great race. It's a fun little racetrack, a little bull ring, tight little racetrack, but it has some pretty good speed. So looking forward to it. I've never raced there. And the Cars Tour's not had a lot of races there, so it's a kind of a newer venue for us that as far as relationships with the track and so forth. So excited to see how that goes. And then for me, I'll be racing at Florence on Darlington weekend and also at Tri-County as we get toward the end of the season. So 3 races in the Cars Tour coming up for me. I'm pretty anxious and excited about it. So hopefully we'll see you out there at Anderson. If not, you can tune in exclusively on Flow and see all the action every single weekend. Thank you.